Children, now let us solve the problems in the exercise based on the Euclid's geometry, that is on the basis of axioms and postulates stated by Euclid's. And the first question, which of the following statements are true and which are false? That you have to mention here. First one, only one line can pass through a single point. Here the statement is only one line can pass through a single point. So you know that any number of lines can pass through a single point. Here there is a point P. Through that point P, you see here there are many number of lines are passing through this point. So what you can see here, this is true or false? That is false statement. So it is false statement. The answer is false statement because you know that any number of lines can pass through a single point. Next, second one is there are infinite number of lines which pass through two distinct points. Here, through the two distinct points, how many lines can be passed through it? You know that only one line can pass through two distinct points. Only one line. So here only one line can be passed through the points P and Q. P and Q are two distinct points. Through that two distinct points, you can observe that only one line passes through P and Q. So here the statement there are an infinite number of lines which pass through two distinct points is also it is false statement. It is what you can write, that is it is false statement. Next one is a terminated line can be produced indefinitely on both the sides. Terminated line can be produced indefinitely on both the sides, and you can do it. Here xy is a terminated line. You can produce it on both the sides indefinitely. So you can say that it is true statement. It is true statement. Next, if two circles are equal, then their radii are equal. If two circles are equal, then their radii are equal. This is also true statement. This statement is true because you know that here there are two circles C1 and C2. They are equal. Then here C1 circle, C1 is equals to circle C2, and also OA, the radius OA is equals to radius OB. So you can clear that if two circles are equal, then their radii are equal. This is, it is true statement. True statement. Next, fifth one. In the figure, if AB is equals to PQ and PQ is equals to XY, then AB is equals to XY. Here it is given that AB is equals to PQ, XY is also is equals to PQ. PQ equals XY means XY is also is equals to PQ. Then you know that things which are equals to the same thing are equal to one another. Here the things AB and XY, the line segment AB and XY are equals to the lines PQ, line PQ. Therefore you can say that AB must be equals to XY. Things which are equal to the same thing are equal to one another. Therefore this is this statement is true. So you can say that this is true statement. This statement is true. Next one. Give definition for each of the following terms. Are there other terms that need to be defined first? What are they and how might you define them? And here the first one is parallel lines. You know what are parallel lines? The lines in a plane do not meet even if they produce on both the sides indefinitely. So you can say that two lines in a plane are said to be parallel if they have no point in common. No point in common means they are not intersecting lines. In the figure, A and B are said to be parallel if they have no point in common. You write like this way: A is parallel to B. A is parallel to B. Here A is parallel to B because the lines A and B are not having common point and they do not meet even if they produced on both the side indefinitely. And in this statement, the term point is undefined term. Which term is undefined? The term point is undefined term. Next, about perpendicular lines. Two lines in a plane are said to be perpendicular if they intersect each other at right angle. If they intersect each other at a right angle. See here, the line X and Y, two lines are here and they intersect at a point O and the angle at O is 90 degree. So the two lines X and Y intersect each other at a point O and makes an angle, right angle, makes 90 degree angle. So two lines in a plane are said to be perpendicular if they intersect each other at a right angle. Here X is perpendicular to Y because they are the two lines which intersect each other at 90 degree. So you can write X is perpendicular to Y. And in this statement, the undefined terms are right angle. Which is the undefined term? That is a right angle. That is the undefined term. Next, line segment. Line segment is a definite length between given 2 points. And here there are 2 points A and B. The length between A and B is called the line segment. It is denoted as AB bar. Like this way you can write AB is a line segment. And here the undefined term is length. Undefined term is length. Point is also undefined. Length is also undefined. Next, radius of a circle. The distance between center and a point on the circle is called the radius of the circle. Distance between center and a point on the circle. See the circle here. O is the center. P is a point on the circle. And the distance between O and P is called the radius of the circle. Here OP is equals to radius. Here the undefined terms are point and center. Which are the undefined center? Point and center. We are using the words point and center because the radius of the circle is the distance between the center and a point on the circle. Then square. How will you define square? Square is a quadrilateral in which all the sides are equal and all the angles are right angles. And also you can say that it is a rectangle with equal breadth and length. Equal length and breadth. And here it is a square. Square is a quadrilateral in which all the sides are equal and all the angles are right angles. And the undefined terms here are quadrilateral, sides right angles. These are undefined terms. Next, consider two postulates given below. Do these postulates contain any undefined terms? Are these postulates consistent? Do they follow from Euclid's postulates? Explain. The statements are as follows. The postulates are as follows. Given any two distinct points A and B, there exists a third point C which is in between A and B. Second one, there exist at least 3 points that are not on the same line. Here the undefined terms are line and point. Line and point. They are consistent because they deal with two different situations. Here they deal with the two different situations. Therefore, you can say that they are consistent. Them. And first postulate says that given 2 points A and B, there is a point C lying on the line which is in between them. Second says that given A and B, we can take C not lying on the line passing through A and B. The above postulates do not follow from Euclid's postulates, but second postulate follow the first one. Next, the fourth question is, if a point C lies between 2 points A and B such that AC is equals to BC, then prove that AC is equals to half AB. Explain by drawing the figure. Here A and B are the 2 points. The line AB is drawn by joining A and B. Here AB is a line, C is a point between A and B such that AC is equals to BD. Given here, given AC is equals to CB. And here we have to prove that AC is equals to half AB. You know that here AB is equals to, that is sum of AC plus BC is equals to AB. AC plus BC is equals to AB. Then you can write it as AC plus AC because BC is also is equals to AC. So you write AC plus AC is equals to AB. AC plus AC is 2AC. 2AC is equals to AB. Therefore, AC is equals to AB by 2. AC is equals to AB by 2. That is AC is equals to half AB. Fifth question. In question 4, point C is called a midpoint of line segment AB. Prove that every line segment has one and only one midpoint. Here you consider a line AB and it is given that C is a midpoint of AB and one midpoint is given, and let us have two midpoints C and C dash. C and C dash. You know that midpoint divides the line segment into two equal parts. Here let us take, let C and C are the two midpoints. C and C dash are the two midpoints. As C is a midpoint, you know that AC is equals to half AB. Here, as C is a midpoint, AC is equals to half AB, and also C dash is a midpoint, therefore AC dash is equals to 1 by 2 half AB. That is 1 by 2 AB. 1 by 2 AB. Here, as C is a midpoint, AC is equals to half AB. As C dash is a midpoint, AC dash is equals to half AB. So, from you consider these two are first and second. First and second. Here you know that AC is equals to half AB, AC dash is equals to half AB. Therefore, from first and second you will get AC is equals to AC dash. AC is equals to AC dash. It is possible only if C and C dash coincides. It is possible only if C and C dash coincide. Therefore, you can say that here C is the only one midpoint. Therefore, point C lies on C dash or C dash lies on C. Therefore, point C dash lies on C. Therefore, you can say that only one midpoint is there on the line. So, you can say that every line segment has one and only one midpoint. Therefore, every line segment has one and only midpoint. One and only one midpoint. Next, let us take the sixth question. In the figure, AB is equals to CD that you have to prove. What is given here? It is given that AC is equals to DC. AC is equals to DC. Here what we have to prove? We have to prove that AB is equals to CD. AB is equals to CD. So you take, it is what is given? Given that, or we have what? AC is equals to BD. Here one common part is there, so you remove that. AC minus BC is equals to BD minus BC. Here equals are subtracted from equals. Equals are subtracted from equals. Here BC is the same part that is removed from AC and BD. So if BC is subtracted from AC, you will get AB. Here this whole minus this part is removed, only you will get AB. Here also from this whole part, BC part is removed, so you will get CD. AB is equals to CD. Here equals are subtracted from equals. Equals are subtracted from equals. So the remainders are equals here. So you got AB is equals to CD. Here you subtract the common part. What is there? That is BC. Next, why is exam 5 is in the list of Euclid's axioms considered a universal truth? So here, according to axiom 5, we have the whole is greater than a part. What is that? Axiom 5. Fifth axiom is the whole is greater than a part, which is a universal truth. It is a universal truth. If you can give many examples for this. Consider a line segment of length 7 cm. C is a point in the interior portion of AB, and you know that here AC is equals to, we have taken 4 cm. AC is a part of AB. AC is a part of AB. So AC must be smaller than AB. AC must be smaller than AB. And clearly we can say that AC, the part is smaller than its whole, and whole is greater than its part. Part is smaller than the whole and whole is greater than its part. So this is true for anything in any part of the world. This statement or this axiom is true for anything in any part of the world. Therefore, this is considered as universal truth. This axiom is considered as universal truth. In the next exercise, there are two questions. The first question is, how would you rewrite Euclid's fifth postulate so that it would be easier to understand? The statement, two distinct intersecting lines cannot be parallel to the same line. This statement is equivalent to the statement of Euclid's fifth postulate, and this would be easier to understand. So, the statement, which statement, two distinct intersecting lines cannot be parallel to the same line. This statement is easier to understand, and this statement is equivalent statement to the Euclid's fifth postulate. Next, does Euclid's fifth postulate imply the existence of parallel lines? Explain. Euclid's fifth postulate says that if a line falling on two different lines and the sum of the interior angles on the same side of that line is less than 180, the two lines will meet on that side by producing them to that side. So here AB and CD are the two straight lines, and the line XY falls on AB and CD, intersecting AB at P and CD at Q, and the interior angles 1 and 2 are on the same side of the line XY, and if the sum of the angle 1 and angle 2, that is angle 1 plus angle 2, is less than 180 degree, AB and CD intersect on that side, that is on the side at which angle 1 plus angle 2 is less than 180 degree. But if their sum is equals to 180 degree, if angle 1 plus angle 2 is equals to 180 degree, means sum of the angles on the same side of the that is sum of the interior angles on the same side of the line is equals to 180 degree, they do not intersect, they becomes parallel line. Therefore, you can clear that Euclid's fifth postulate implies the existence of parallel lines.